High Thumos, and welcome back. Boys, listen. Just listen to this. We got one freaking day right now. Think about every morning that you wake up. You got one day, and then you wake up, you go about your day, blah, blah, blah. Here comes the nighttime, here comes the tiredness, boom, you're asleep, and then one. Repeat, one. You get up, you jerk off a couple times, you go to work, you pay your bills, you go out, you go fast food. There's another one, and another one, and another one, and then you do this, and you go on vacation, and then another one, and then, you go back to work, and then you watch a YouTube video, and another one, and then you watch girls on Instagram shaking their arms, and another one, and one. It all adds up, dude. 365 days in a year. 365 days in a year. That's 3,650 days in 10 years. That's 1,095 days in 3 years. If you think about that, 1,095 mornings that you just waking up. Like every morning when you get up, you're kind of excited. When you were a kid, you're like, yeah, man. Yeah, I'm going to play some hide and go seek today. I'm going to go sleep over at my buddy's house. I'm going to play some Nintendo 64. Now we're adults, right? Our feet hit the ground. You can't lose that childlike spirit. You can't lose that desire for the day, to take care of the day, to suck the milk from the tit of the day, to rejoice in the day, man. That's what it's all about. And if you just think about the amount of time that you have in 10-year span, 3,650 mornings. Imagine waking up that many days, making a pot of coffee, slurping it down, taking a dump, your morning routine, jumping in a shower, that moment of awareness that comes when you have a cold shower, that insight, that invigorating feel you get, and then get out, put your clothes on, you go to the gym, you do whatever you need to do, you're studying for school, you're going to work. 3,650 days. And I'm telling you that imagine if you did one thing. If you're focused for the next, let's just work in decades here, right? The next 10 years. Hell, do 3 years. If you're 27, you got 3 years until you're 30. If you're 20, you got 10 years until you're 30. If you're 30, you got 10 years until you're 40. It's a great way to look at this because it's gonna make it easier on your mind. It's a good way to look at time and how much time you have to get ahead, no matter where you're at. See, if you did one thing with that one day, and you did it for 3,650 days, imagine if you just had one thing every day, you weren't worried about everything. I think that a lot of guys need to hear this. You get so worried about doing everything. You get so worried about, I could do this, I could do that, I got all these ideas. If you just did one thing, if you got real honest with yourself and said, you know what, I want this in my life. Things are not how I want them to be right now. Imagine what you could change over the course of 3 years. 1,095 days. The course of 3 years, you do one thing every day that begins to accumulate and add up. You could change your physique if you just focus on a couple small things. You could lose the weight. You could get a girlfriend. You could form awesome relationships. You could start to build a business, start to make money. You don't have to have the whole game plan. You just have to do one thing. With the day that you have, the 24 hours, you have to have that motive. You have to have that idea in your mind when your 2 feet hit the ground. And that's why I'm making this video, because we have to get back on track to doing the one thing. Not trying to do everything, but to do the one thing that is important. All right? And here's the thing I'm thinking. Is a lot of guys that are in the self-improvement community, they're so worried about stop doing things. They want to cut things out. But they never actually give back an investment of life. And so you're cutting out all these things that are kind of maybe taking your life. They're taking your energy and your time. You stop watching countless shows and video games. You stop jerking, and you stop, eating shitty food and whatnot. And you're on the self-improvement, but you're not giving back life. You actually need to do something. You need to make an investment with the life that you have, because before you were just cutting it away. But now, that's not good enough just to go back to baseline. You got to give. You got to give more. What you give, you receive. What you put out, you get back. And so many guys in this thing are just about cut this out, cut that out. Even with meditation, it's just sitting there for 5-10 minutes. So you're not really doing anything. The key ingredient is in the mix must be doing something. Until you poke the box of life, nothing else happens. So don't be fooled, man. I know if you smoke weed and you do drugs, it can make you think, especially weed. I've known a lot of people I've talked to about this. They smoke weed and they think like they're messed up and life's not going to be the same. Things aren't as good, aren't as enjoyable, and they have this shame or this guilt. Or a lot of people just in general have shame and guilt for different things that they've done in life. A lot of people say they need to deal with trauma, and I know trauma is real, right? I know trauma is real. Some people have some bloody, dark pasts in history, but the trauma is, what are you going to do? How are you going to deal with the trauma? How are you going to deal with your negative mindset? I say be negative. I say go out and be negative as long as you're doing. I say you don't need to worry about your mindset all the time. Too much focus on being stoic. I say be High Thumos. I say be spirited. Stop trying to be stoic and just about everything, right? Be Thumos. Be spirited. Don't just be passive and accept the way things are. No, go out and do stuff. The way that you do this, man, the way that you deal with trauma and your mindset and your negative thinking is you actually need wins, man. Sometimes the only way you're going to deal with any of this stuff is to beat them by winning. To have real wins in your life. That's how you get rid of that's how you distance yourself from the people and the things that cause you trauma in the first place. You become better than them. You distance yourself from them. You become stronger in your body. You get more resourceful. You have more money coming in. You're able to do something and move away. You're able to create things that you didn't know you could. You get away from the people that used to belittle you. That's how you deal with this stuff, by actually winning, not by just cutting more and more stuff out. There's a time and place for everything. It's not always black and white. But I really believe that we need to talk more as men. And one of the things we talk about in the group, we're encouraged to share those wins. Share the trauma. There's a place we even have a voice chat for that, fellowship, where we come in, we share the trauma, we share the baggage. You talk about whatever's bugging you, what's weighing you down as a man, because we all deal with these things. But when you're alone by yourself, instead of just trying to cut everything out, think about the potential you have as an individual to create in this life, to provide immense help and support and value to other people. The mark that you can leave on the world. This could be your music, your writing, whatever creative outlet you want. A lot of people are waiting for perfection. You need to get in the habit of shipping it, dude. Like, ship it. That's a challenge we're doing for the next 2 weeks, the Ship It Challenge. What's one thing that you wanted to start that you've been putting off? Get it out of the file. Ship it, dude. Make the video. Upload the song. No one's going to hear it in the first place. No one cares about you. So that's a good thing, right? But that's how you build, man. That's the growth. Those are the roots you're laying down. And when you're not in the habit of shipping it, when you're not in the habit of action taking and doing, to be a doer, when you're not in that habit, your mind finds problems for itself. It makes problems out of everything. It goes back to the shame and the guilt. And I got to stop doing this, and I gotta make sure this is perfect first. Stop it. We're men. I say stop living like that and start shipping it. It's the only way, dude. It's the only way. So with the time that you have, right? If you want to read a great book about this, I've mentioned it so many times. I've gifted it to several individuals. It's called The One Thing by Gary Keller. It's a phenomenal book, and it shows the compound effect of one domino falling, tipping over a bigger domino, and then a bigger domino, and then a bigger domino, until you're tipping over something the size of the Empire State Building. That's momentum. And if you start today, if you make a promise to yourself that I'm going to be a doer, then tomorrow when you wake up in the morning, you need to be really bloody clear with yourself and write it down. What is one thing that you can do? You can do, not something that you can cut out. What's one thing that you can do today that is going to get you closer, and that you think will get you closer to your most meaningful and important goal? That's the main thing. You figure that out, life is going to start making sense, because in a week you'll feel a little bit better. In a week you'll be a little bit leaner. In a week you might have talked to several more women than you didn't before. In a week you might have made one more sale. In a week you maybe have taken the steps to start a business. In a week, an idea that was just an idea to making people's lives better and making income has now become something that you've laid the foundation and the scaffolding. And in 1 week, it could be you signed up for that course. And so in a week, you start to, after doing something day in and day out, you start to see some progress. And then a month, and then 6 months, and then a year. And you realize that I don't even know how I got here, because you can't fathom. You cannot fathom how small incremental steps, how small actions applied over time equals massive results. You just can't picture that right where you're at. And that those wins are exactly what you need for more confidence, less anxiety. All the anxiety is because you're not doing anything. That's what we need to talk about. You're not doing anything. The lack of confidence is because you're not winning. And if you're not winning, then you feel like you're losing, right? Because you don't see wins in your life. You see the same thing day in and day out, and you're just still working about from this place. The wins will come, the confidence will come. You'll feel more like a man, you'll feel grounded, but you have to be a doer, man. Don't just sit here and wait for things to happen. Go out and make things happen. You have a gift. Every day is a gift. Every morning when your 2 feet hit the ground, that is a gift from God, that you wake up and you do what you need to do. Focus on the one thing, not on everything. All right? Hope this message has resonated with you guys. I'll talk to you soon. Peace.